Now our first contender here is Khalid. Now Khalid is a fighter with a deceptively simple kit that becomes genuinely oppressive in the right hands. His whole identity revolves around his Desert Power passive. In case you didn't know, it's a passive which he gains movement speed by, just walking around or just doing skills basically. And whenever his stacks are full, or his bar you could say, then he has an enhanced basic attack that procs bonus physical damage. That's pretty normal enough, right? However, you can pair that passive with Thunderbelt. And that proc also deals true damage based on the enemy's max HP. True damage specifically. On a roamer who didn't even spend 15,000 gold in the first place on a jungle item, that is unreasonably amount of value for that role. So with that Sandwalk, it's basically a mobility tool. It's how he basically crosses the map faster than you expect, and also this is how he chase. And for anyone wondering why Khalid works roam in the Season 41 specifically is the item synergy, which means your core item is Roaming Blessing into Thunderbelt. Thunderbelt gives you HP, mana, movement speed, and that devastating true damage proc from his passive. After that, you build durability, like Anti-Crash just in case if there's a lot of physical damage skills, or Oracle if they have a lot of magical damage skills, whatever the enemy team lineup is. Or just simply get immortality because you always have a bad positioning if you do so. But it's okay, I'm not judging. Now I'll say that Khalid is very great at chasing squishy enemies at the backline, mainly because of his ultimate. Combine that with his full bar passive, then it's game over. There's one specific very important rule for Khalid players must understand is that Thunderbelt is the first item you should always pick. I know that maybe Bloodluck's Axe or even Blade of Herpes or whatever it's called, trust me, they're not worth it. I know that they're very tempting, but trust me, Thunderbelt is way much better. Especially if you get it as soon as possible in the early game, because that soon will add up very good at the late game. And our second contender is Martis, ladies and gentle legends. Picture this in the back of your mind, okay? In the late game teamfight, the enemy team pops 3 crowd control skills simultaneously. A stun, a knockup, and a suppression. Which frankly is pretty much annoying if I'm being honest. Now let me tell you this, if that exact same scenario would happen on a tank roamer instead, they will be most likely be watching because they know they're pretty much scared. Because they would rather not take the hits but let their squishy allies, their squishy petite allies take the hit instead. As a damage roamer, it's very important to not only provide vision to your allies of course, but to safely deal damage and then walk away like nothing just ever happened. That's all because of its second skill, let's be honest here. His first skill and ultimate is basically out of the picture. I mean, well, those two technically works, but there are different scenarios. For his skill 2 scenario specifically, he can basically endure any kind of CC available. Except Franco, because we all know Muton want Franco to be invincible. For his first core item, it should be War Axe. Because the healing effect will benefit you a lot as soon as you combine your second skill with it. Then add Brute Force Breastplate. because it simply adds stacking movement speed and defense when you use skills, making you harder to kill as the fight goes on. Then thirdly, your third core item should be Queen's Wings, for that damage reduction when your HP drops low. So after you get your main 3 core items, this is what you should do in a team fight as Damage Martis. Wait until the enemy uses their CC skills onto you, and wait for their squishies to come up closer to the team fight. Then that's where you use your second skill to go past them and also go directly straight to their backline. And if you even have your War Axe passive used correctly, then you can might as well kill their squishies with your ultimate, just top it all off. And yeah, that's basically his playstyle. Alright, on to the next game. And this third contender that we got from the zoo, it's Sun. And I know many of you guys might be wondering, whoa there Giacomo, why Sun all of a sudden in the current season of MLBB history? Well, if you've been LARPing in the Passionals recently, you know that getting XP from getting, near your minion waves, near your allies, or just simply dealing damage to enemy heroes. And remember, damage roamers are valid if they have an escape mobility, which Sun is a perfect tool for that. And another special thing about him is that he can safely split push. Well, during the late game of course, because that's where he benefits the most. For damage roamers like Sun, the only thing he is not good at dealing with is high CC, unlike Martis. Especially if the enemy team decided to choose Ruby, then you know you're specially cooked. But those kind of scenarios doesn't even matter anymore, because you could just simply ignore her and go straight for their backline obviously. Which unlike Martis, Sun is very easy to do that, because Martis is pretty slow, while Sun, he is quick. So it doesn't matter if the enemy heroes lack AoE or not. To provide vision as Sun as safely as possible, use your first skill to reveal enemies in bushes. And also, use your second skill to simply poke the enemies. And if you have items like Wind-Chant or Endless Battle, or both of them combined, it's basically a lot more damage the more clones you put out, because his clones are technically each individual heroes itself. So if you combine your first skill along with ultimate, the combination of damage is going to be very brutal, especially for squishy targets. Make sure if you're in a scenario where another team fight is happening and you're trying to flank the enemy team but they're well to positioned, then you go directly straight to the other lane, the opposite side of the map, where the Lord is all the way over there, and then use the opportunity to push. And if just in case, if there are like at least 1 or 2 enemies that decided to defend the lane, then you go head back to the team fight, if there are team fight happening, and pick them off one by one. And simple, that's how you win with damage roam Sun.
Whoever wants to fight me, step right up.
Well, 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 look who got MVP. Now our fourth contender here is our favorite cockroach hero, Helcurt. So we all know that Helcurt identified as he/assassin. Officially a jungle at first, but the roamer version exists in a very specific and very oppressive space. He removes the enemy's abilities to function before he removes their HP bar. His main kit is built entirely around regaining health and then regaining faster cooldowns. So as long as you stay around bushes and without enemy vision, that you can definitely proc that passive as long as you want. Especially on this map, this very special map, because it's the special mode map where there's a lot of bushes. And I'm not talking about your mom either. Do you know whose hero's worst nightmare going against Helcurt? Angela. Now hear me out. Her entire value is attaching to a carry and casting heals and shields continuously. And for Helcurt's passive combined with his first skill, he basically cancels her. So with this bushy map, if you attempt to hide like every time as Helcurt, she basically won't know where you are until you go straight for the backline and directly at her. Then she basically becomes almost as useless as a wet toilet paper. Now one thing, very important things to note is that Helcurt needs movement speed a lot. Not only to escape, but to chase enemies. So your first item should be Swift Boots, and then, hold on, hear me out, Sky Piercer. Yeah, you heard that right. Sky Piercer gives extra movement speed as well. Did you guys know that? Maybe that might not be a bit of a difference in the early game because obviously the damage is not there. But as long as you keep farming until the mid or late game, that it will show a very big difference. So your second core item should be Blade of Heptases. And your third core item, if you're feeling a bit fruity today, then you could use Windtalker. Man, oh man, this match is so on the edge for absolutely no reason. It should not be this long. But anyways, on to the next. And this, ladies and gentle legends, our fifth and last contender in this video is Layla. That's right, the main poster girl of MLBB. I know that nobody asked for this, but we're doing it anyways. Now I want you to sit down in your chair on the corner. And let me tell you to take a deep breath before we start this one. I need you to suspend everything you know about the roam role, and especially this past couple of minutes in this video. I need you to open your mind to a new kind of thinking. A thinking that says, what if the roamer didn't rotate? What if the roamer didn't initiate? What if the roamer just stood at a safe distance from everything dangerous and shoot projectiles across the entire map while the enemy team lost for whatever reason? Well, what if the roamer was Layla? What if this works? It doesn't work, but when it does, and it does, it is a most chaotic and joyful, unpleasurable experience that Season 41 has to offer from the man himself, Jackomod MLBB. Remember when I said that damage roamers need to deal damage from enemy heroes while being safe? Well, Layla technically has that. It's called her passive, and first skill. It's due to her range. She doesn't even need to get close to the enemies. So if you're dealing close range enemy heroes, that they basically can't do nothing but take the back shots from the main poster girl herself. I'll give you guys a little bit of a spoiler this match. Did you know that I did not build Malefic Gun on Layla? Well, there are one big main reason why. I just simply forgot about it. But that does not stop me from showing you guys the true potential of Damage Roam Layla. So if you're amazed, you made it this far into the video, make sure you click that like button and subscribe, because I'm about to show you more of these kind of videos in the future. Not only to support me as a creator, but YouTube itself. And hopefully let's all come down here together and pray that my account won't just take a beating to the credit score. Otherwise, I would be in absolute shambles. Let's be real here for a moment. If you're in this scenario when you're defending your base that's basically all towers removed, then this is where Damage Roam Layla is surprised. Because she is basically an artillery piece made by the United States of America. Okay.
The gun represents justice. When pointing at the back. Solo kill. Well played, White. Killing spree. I'm still warming up.
Okay, well, with all of that yapping, we still lost either way. But hey, I got MVP, that's the most surprising part. Honestly, it performs way better than my previous damage roamers combined. But I prefer the safety of my account instead, so maybe you will not most likely see more of this in the future. Maybe some bit by bit, but most likely not. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye now.